morning, everyone, and welcome to the Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting on June 17th, 2026. May I have a motion to call the meeting to order?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
Unanimous? Thank you. All right. Let's do introductions, and let's start with George. George, you're on. We're doing introductions.
My name is George Horner. I'm on the Board of Directors.
Going this way. All right. My name's Alyssa Lee. I'm the director.
Sharon Hines, Board Chair.
Barbara Sanborn, Vice Chair. Irene Thomas, Secretary. Linda Workman, Board. Laurel Pahalski, Board Member.
Thank you. Volunteer to read the mission statement. Thank you, Barbara.
I haven't done one. The mission of the Groveland Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults to identify their needs, to develop and implement services to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life.
Thank you. All right. On to approval of meetings for meeting minutes for
So
May
moved.
20th, 2026.
So moved.
Okay,
I second it.
thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
great. Thank you, Irene, for sending them out early so we can look them over, and it's always a pleasure to read. Thank you.
Absolutely. You're welcome.
All right, on to director's report.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it. It's a gorgeous day out there. So just a few highlights to start us off from May. So for May, we had about 1,500 interactions across all service areas. That includes 15 new participants involved in the COA, with 120 pantry visits, 180 van rides, and we had 255 people in person for programming. So the staff snapshot is included to give a sense of where direct resident activity was. That includes both in person and over the phone or email, just all sorts of things. Again, just a reminder, it doesn't capture everything, but it does show the range of the day-to-day work that we are doing. No surprises in there, but a lot of registrations, transportation, and food access, right where we should be. For my reflection on the past month, it really focused on asking for help. I think this first came to light during our community conversations about the survey results. How we specifically asked people if they would ask for help, if they would be willing to give help. And by and large, most people said yes to both of those options. And then when we had our conversation with the town about recycling and trash, it was, while I wasn't in attendance, it was brought up to me, one, acknowledging that there was a lot of worry and concern and maybe anxious feelings about it. And Irene reminded me, a survey, we said that we would ask and give help. And so I just think that is a really important reminder for all of us and all of our different roles that we play, that we can't do it alone. So genuinely, when we need help, I think it is a strong thing to acknowledge that and to say, yes, let's help and do this together. But we also acknowledge that it can be hard. So let's also see and offer if we can do any help. So certainly I extend my thanks to all of you and the numerous volunteers in our community as well for helping at the COA level, and I hope helping as a neighbor level as well. So there we go. Finance. So we are 1 month left in our fiscal year. You know, the reports are based through the end of May. Certainly we're halfway through June now. Nothing out of the ordinary. May was higher than typical expense month, largely because of program expenses, including It Takes a Herd program and our appreciation luncheon. But overall, department, you know, remains in good shape and absolutely on target for ending fiscal year on budget. There's certainly more details in there if needed. Any questions on finance? No. I did want to, as we know, it's been an evolving conversation. So I know we talked about the cancellation policy for the past 2 meetings. Did want to bring it up here as it is in its sort of infancy stage, if you will. So the past month, we did receive a refund concern around an unforeseen, you know, medical emergency. And so I wanted to not do a complete overhaul, and you have it in the back of your board packets, but just add a sentence for clarity around medical emergencies and or similarly serious circumstances. So essentially it was just adding, didn't put it in my notes, so it's in the big new section. In case of an unforeseen medical emergency or similarly serious circumstances, COA may review the situation, offer a refund or credit when appropriate. So in my mind, I want to have, while some things we clearly, as we've operated so far, it's institutional knowledge, meaning it just lives in our head and we all know and this and that. I think for me in particular, but certainly for everyone, to have it in writing so that most importantly we can be consistent. And again, not to say that things can't change, but at least it's consistent and transparent in that process. So does that make sense, that addition in there? And certainly any other feedback is more than welcome. But yeah.
I think it's a good idea to put it in there because we are dealing with older adults who do have, you know, medical emergencies. Well, everyone does, but I think it's a good idea to have that in the policy.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, because I think if someone has had an emergency and couldn't take advantage of a program or a trip, it might cause them to hesitate to sign up for an additional one. So with this in place, it's like a safety blanket. Terrific.
Absolutely.
So just to be clear for me,
Yeah.
so a medical emergency would be something like, I don't know, having to go to the emergency for a medical issue versus somebody who might call and say, I can't go, I have a migraine headache.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely gray area in there. That's, you know, before, you know, at our previous conversation, I went away from it. I went away from the conversation thinking, after some people had brought it up, that yes, medical emergencies happen to all of us. And we still have to continue going on, even if we've made plans. I'm certainly empathetic and want to be compassionate towards you know, our community members as we all go through similar life experiences. I don't know. You know, we have to draw the line somewhere. I think this says a serious medical emergency. You know, I think the big thing to me is, you know, people come, I want you to be able to come to me and say, hey, you know what, this really impacted me. I'm wondering, you know, what if we could talk about the refund. And I think how those conversations happen, you know, definitely matter.
Thank you.
On the other hand, you know, talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
You don't want everyone saying, you know, oh, I forgot about that program, but I don't want to have to pay for it. I'll say I was sick,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that you don't want that to happen either, so you have.
I think we have to assume best intentions, but yeah. So I think, if, and I really don't think it would happen. I think if for some reason, like there's a pattern of behavior, then, like we said, we relook at it, and it's a living document, and you can only do so much. But yeah. All right, so we will move forward with that. But again, if you all hear other things going on, more than happy to continue that conversation. Professional development. So I attended along with many of you in this room, and perhaps we'll talk about it in more detail now or later. We attended the Reframing Aging training that was offered through the MCOA. I just wanted to share that my biggest takeaway was the importance of the we, us language rather than unintentionally talking about older adults as they, them, others. I tried to take that information and lean into it when working on the July-August newsletter, so hopefully you see some of that presented there. And I also think it ties in quite nicely to our upcoming conversation on the mission statement, where we do use, the othering, which I've always been like, I love our mission statement. And then, after the training, it really did, I did question and having to look at it through a different perspective. So.
I'll agree with that, because when I was reading the mission statement, I'm there. It should really say to improve our quality of life,
Yeah.
our needs instead of theirs. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
totally agree with that.
So really appreciate everyone's time that was able to join me for that. Thank you. The Engagement Celebration Symposium, that is coming up very quickly. It is this Saturday, June 20th. Doors open at 9:30. The program kicks off at 10, but at 9:30, note that there are refreshments being served, resources tables being open, time to connect with people you know, people you don't know, and get ready for a really wonderful day. We have about a little over 80 registered attendees right now. So if people haven't yet registered, now is the time to do so. So we put in our final orders for lunch. All the presenters are set and ready to go. Everyone is excited. It's going to be a really wonderful day. If you haven't yet seen it, we've done a pretty strong marketing push, on a number of different calendar listings online, Facebook posts regularly on ours, particularly to acknowledge all of our partners in the process. And we are also featured in the senior living section of the newspapers today. There's a special insert for a number of them going out. I think the Eagle Tribune and the Andover Town Common, the Andover newspaper, and Newburyport and so forth. So hoping for another jump in registrations today. And I also wanted to highlight and thank the Friends of the Groveland Council on Aging, and also some support from the Haverhill Breakfast Exchange Club, that we were able to order copies of I'm Still Here, the book that was written by Dr. John Ziesel, our keynote speaker. So really excited that we will be able to offer that to our attendees for something, tangible to take home and continue learning. So thank you for that. Any questions on engagement? No? Thank you for all of you who have volunteered your time. Really appreciate it. Assistant Director, you'll see that we took a little different format this month. We adjusted the format with the goal to try to make it easier to review and sort of better reflect, the wide range of direct resident support that is being provided. But certainly always open to feedback as, to make it most useful to you all reading the report. I think, one of the big things that when I read it, was, the May outreach meeting for the Massachusetts Council on Aging. Most of my career in the arts, I always want to say cultural. Was tenant rights. I think so many times those go unnoticed, and so I think having a training specifically about really what are the rights of tenants, because they have so many, as well as the rights of the landlord, and really making sure that we are able to communicate those, or at the very least point people in the right direction so they know where their supports are. Also last week, if you were in attendance, we did have our first Budge Out program in the parking lot. It was tremendously successful. I think we had just under 40 people in attendance, and it's somewhere between 30 and 40. By all means, I only heard positive feedback from both attendees and as well as the volunteers working over there. So next one will be next Tuesday, 10 o'clock? 10 to 11:30. Yep. So awesome. Other programming highlights, as I mentioned, It Takes a Herd program took place. That was 4 sessions. I attended the first part of the very first session that took place in May, just to make sure a friendly, known, familiar face was present, and to make sure all logistics were there. And then I had the opportunity to attend the very last session, which just took place last week, and I did include pictures at the end of your board packet. It was just a really wonderful, really meaningful experience for everybody involved, and you could just see the joy in faces that while we have a lot of fun at Memory Cafe, it was just a whole different level of joy on their faces there. So again, appreciate you all and the friends for helping making that happen. Also on the dementia front, cognitive stimulation therapy has started over at Topsfield, so I am there Mondays and Wednesdays, 11 to 12 p.m. is when the sessions. Today is the 6th session of 15. Things are going well. We're in the groove. The group is, we have 5 people in the group, which is what they recommend, between 5 and 8 people, to be a small group, but also so you can really get to know one another and fully participate in all the activities that we do. Our program here in Groveland will start on Monday, August 3rd. It looks like the most likely place will be at VC Park, where we can have consistent space, because it's a pretty big ask to meet twice a month, or twice a week for 7 weeks. And we are having info sessions for anybody that is interested in learning about cognitive stimulation therapy and what that entails. It is in the new upcoming newsletter. It's Thursday, July 2nd, also Thursday, July 9th, at 10 o'clock. We will have those info sessions here. Then also just wanted to note that Pride programming has been successful so far this month. And this has been in partnership with the library. We've gone to the Newburyport Pride Parade on June 6th. We had our Pride Dessert Social last week. This week we had the movie Cloudburst, which I heard was really funny. I didn't get to see it, but I heard great reviews. And then next week we will conclude the month-long celebration with a book discussion. Arthur and Teddy are coming out. That's on Thursday, June 25th at 11 o'clock right here in this room. So again, really appreciative of the community, of the COA board, for supporting us in these efforts. A quick note on food access. Our Neighbors Table has updated its policy for integrated market partners, which is us, the COA, that residents are now able to shop at both places. So meaning before they had to choose, and they really enforced it as much as one could, to either be at the COA market or the ONT market. Now they understand there's a reason why people come, more than once. And I also think under new leadership, there are changes, of course. So now people are more than welcome to go to both. Noting, however, you can still only go to one market. You can go to, I don't know how I'm articulating it.
You said it here.
Did I say it there?
One visit a week to one of its main markets
Yes.
for ONT.
Yeah. So while you can visit in the same week ONT and the CUA, that is fine. You can only go to ONT once. And just as everybody knows, our space is small. The COA once. Certainly, we would never say no to anyone if they're in need and always feel welcome. Lastly, just wanted to say thank you to Dorka, our van driver who typically drives on Mondays and Tuesdays. She has graciously agreed by working 2 Saturdays this month, and I know that can be a hardship on some. So she drove residents to the Pride Parade on earlier this month, and then she will be doing transportation on Saturday for the engagement celebration as well as staffing the event. So just really thankful for her contribution and willingness to care for the COA members in this way. So that is all from me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Yeah.
Speaking of transportation.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Speaking of transportation, are we going to have the golf cart idea
Yes.
again
Yep.
at the symposium? Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. So golf cart will be there. People have taken advantage of it for the last 2 years, so excited to continue to offer it. So don't worry about parking because there is a lot of it. And if you have to park far away, the school does have the golf cart with the driver, and they'll meet you wherever you are to drive you literally right to the door. So you're good to go. Thank you.
Thank you for putting these pictures of It Takes a Herd on the back of this report. It's so heartwarming to see these people participating, and especially the one where the woman has her eyes closed and she's hugging, and that's just, what a wonderful program.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
And thank you for all your preparatory work in arranging for the engagement, celebration, and symposium. The breakout sessions all look so interesting, from decluttering and moving to aging in place and aging alone. And the speaker, I started to read his book.
Yeah.
It's very engaging.
Yeah.
I think it has good information for all of us
Yeah.
as we launch into our adventures of aging year after year. And the food is always great, too. Company, superb. And all the information tables set up really help to make people more aware of what's available.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the great things I find about it is that there's just a really positive and excitement,
Yes.
I feel like, with everyone involved, the participants and our partners. Yeah.
The connections being made. That's
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
All right. On to other business. Subcommittee updates. Finance, Deb is not here.
I'm on that, but
You
there's
are.
nothing new to report.
Okay, thank you. Nominating, Laurel?
So this is the month. This is the month that we vote on our Board of Officers. And it seems that everyone who is now an officer has agreed to continue in their role. So I don't know if we want to vote individually. Well, I should say, if there's anyone else who is interested in either being secretary, treasurer, vice chair, or chair, now's your time to put your name into a slot or onto the slate of officers, and we can vote that way. Is there anyone who wants to take a different position or take a position? Okay. All right, so that being said, we could vote as a total slate of officers, which I feel is the quickest way. So the slate of officers is Sharon Hines as chair, Barbara Sanborn as vice chair, Deb Stevenson, although she's not here, I do have an email from her saying she does wish to continue as treasurer unless someone else wants to. So Deb Stevenson as treasurer and Irene Thomas as secretary. So
All right.
do I
may I-
have a, yeah, do you want to, yeah.
May I have a motion to,
So moved.
okay?
Do we-
All right. All
Okay,
right.
so,
Unanimous?
so again, well, we'll do the whole slate, right? Can we do that?
Why not?
Yeah, all right, so let's vote. We have the motion, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So be it. Thank you for being,
unanimous.
continuing in your roles. That was an easy election.
All right.
Yes, and also today I will be collecting, I hope you all remember to bring your board recruitment workshop worksheet. You didn't. Well, George, we'll get it next, as soon as possible.
Make a note for next month.
Thank you. And do you have your name? Oh, this is Irene's, okay. It says Laurel.
I do it right, I just did it for myself, was that the way I was
Right,
supposed to?
right.
Yes, and then I will collate them. I-
Oh,
If you have a blank
Oh,
one
that's
somewhere,
okay.
yes. Thank you. And this is Barbara's, okay. Linda, no?
Mine's somewhere, I can't find it.
Okay.
I
It's in a
did it,
safe
but it's
place.
home, it might be in
So I
the
have
folder.
Deb's, so I need
You'll
George's
find it.
and Linda's, and she'll find hers.
Yep,
Oh, there it is, it's the
yeah,
last page.
it's on the last page, what do you
And
know?
did you do it?
I didn't do it,
Okay. Monday,
yeah,
at knitting, you bring it.
well,
George, homework.
Okay,
Okay.
will be done.
All right,
All right.
that's
and
it.
Thank you, everyone. You are all so excellent in your roles. Thank you.
As are you, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Personnel
very much.
has
You're welcome.
one item.
Okay.
So this might be a good time for a quick discussion about the program coordinator position. Personnel Committee had asked for the current description of the position, and after attending the same reframing aging workshop that Alyssa went to, there was information presented about adding meaning to work, to tasks, to positions. So one question was if there will be a program coordinator hired sometime in the future, if we wanted to review the position description and see if there was a way that we might suggest that the position have added value, added meaningfulness or something. But of course, this would be in conversation with Alyssa.
So is this?
Any
Is
reactions?
this the format that this is the job description now?
So that's the job description that you've all seen before many times.
I mean, it hasn't changed or anything.
No.
This is the same, okay.
So what, do you have thoughts about this, Alyssa?
There's always room for improvement. I think it's very accurate to what the job is. I think absolutely adding value. When I hear that, my first reaction is, to be candid, that I don't want people to come in and think, oh, it's a senior center. You know, like professionalism and getting things, you know, to the level that we need them done is to the side because, you know, I am looking to only connect with people. And yes, there is connection with people, and that is what fills us, or at least me, and I think my colleagues, you know, in connecting, but a lot of it is not with people. So I would just be mindful of that.
When I was thinking about this at home and thinking, if I were to have this job, is there anything different that I would consider about it? And I did come up with one thing, just again, of course, with your discussion, was the hours, Monday through Thursday, 10 to 2. I was thinking, you know, if I had that job, that takes up Monday through Thursday, like the big part of the day, the middle part of the day, about possibly making it a 3-day position with longer hours, like 9 to 3, or somehow still getting in the 16 hours, but so that it wouldn't take up 3 days a week, perhaps 4. Now, I know that would leave a gap in the office on that one day, but I was just wondering if that would be something, you know, that we could discuss and consider. What do you think about that? I know that you need coverage in the office,
Right.
you know, every full
Yeah,
day.
I think when, you know, certainly had offered that, you know, this is what, I think number one, when people come in, we want to know that these are the hours. I think if things are, you know, I think things are always negotiable for you know, the candidates. I know even for the candidates that or for the people in the role that we've had that conversation that, you know, if things need to change and things are going well, by all means, you know, bottom line, if we just need the work done, certainly there's, as you said, there's coverage and setup, but those are sort of minimal in regards to priority of getting the tasks done.
See, I think it would be more confusing for the people who use, like, oh, what day is it? Monday through Thursday. I mean, Friday, you know, it's only half a day here. So you don't even consider coming in on Friday. But Monday through Thursday, you know there's going to be someone there to do your registration, to be in the office. It's also great mother's hours.
It is.
And that's, I mean, this is a part-time job. There are people out there that only want part-time. They don't want to work till 4:30, 3 days a week, or whatever. You know, you still have time to do a doctor's appointment in the morning or in the afternoon. I think the hours are perfect for the right person. And it's also, on the other side, for me, if I needed it, it's like, wait, and what day are they open? I have to look it up. Oh, she's not there on Wednesday, and this is Wednesday, and I wanted to call on Wednesday to do such and such, you know. I'll wait till tomorrow, then I forget. And then Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. Okay, Monday, maybe I'll remember. I just feel the hours. And again, I think that if you found the right person, could be negotiable anyway, but it's only for 16 hours. I don't think we're allotted any more, correct? That's what the position is. So I think this is personally, I feel this is good. You know, I see the 35%, 30%. Are you really going to be saying, oh, my 5.5 to 6 hours a week is done on general communication, and I'm not going to do my general communication anymore? I mean, but I think that's a general,
This is a general, so people, again, when you're talking about, you know, the value add, that they can have a real expectation of this is where my time is being
right.
spent. Yeah.
And I think to Alyssa's point, I think there have been some candidates that really thought or expected that they would have more contact on a personal level with clients. And so, you know, I think, you know, again, just making it clear that, you know, that's not, it happens to some degree, but it's really the clerical part side of it.
Yeah, It is clerical, and I, you know, and again, as I said, I don't foresee hiring anyone in the near future, but I know for me, and I don't think I'm unique in this, but like doing your job and doing it well because you are serving the people, even if you're at the computer, has got to be something, you know. So, yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, all right, thank you. Let's see, moving on. The FCOA, Friends of the Council on Aging report. Thank you, Larry.
Good morning, everyone. Larry McElhenney, President of the Friends of the Groveland Council on Aging. We are a fundraising group that donates all that we take in to the Council on Aging, and I too want to second the program that's highlighted this month. It makes us all feel good about what we do. I don't have much new to report because we have not had any activities since the last board meeting, but we did have a very successful May with our yard sale and concert. Our next upcoming thing is we're continuing with our summer coin drive. There will be a collection. I'm working on a well. I have not had much success with it thus far, but I'm working on a well, a wishing well. And just for the public to know, as you get in your car and look at all the spare change in your coffee holder and you say, gee, I should do something with that change, you can bring it in and drop it off at Town Hall. As a special bonus this year, we have someone who's offered us 2 cents worth for every penny donated, so $1 worth of penny will get us $2 worth of funds to donate to the Friends, and that's a nice big thing. Other than that, we are working to develop the calendar for our calendar raffle fundraiser that happens in November. We will be at the engagement seminar on Saturday, so stop by to say hello. We will have a donation jar out there to take any donations, and we'll also be at Groveland Day coming up in the fall. So that's kind of a summary of where we are. Any questions about that?
And thank you to the Friends for the donation for the books for the
books,
symposium.
yes,
too,
I'm looking forward to reading it
Cool.
also. So that's all I have. Right, thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Larry.
Thank you, Larry.
All right. Moving on to June meeting focus areas. First one is community survey results and moving forward, next steps.
We were
I
going to
don't have-
have a meeting at VC. We had to reschedule that. We have not done so yet, but we will reschedule that to work on that very thing. We just have to come up with a date when all of us can be there,
And that these are
that
available,
VC's available.
which, by the way, they do have a camp in the summer. So I don't know if they will have space for us. So the earlier we can, I mean, school's still there. You know, I don't think it starts right away, but that's just thought.
I can take a poll via email and see what dates you're available.
Or even maybe right after this meeting, if people have their calendars, we can discuss that.
But if it's on an email, then it's
Oh, that's
right
true.
there, easy to see and
Yep, okay.
find overlaps.
Okay. All right, that sounds good.
And at one point, okay, yes. Never mind, I'm sure we'll discuss that at BZ.
So
All right.
that will be continued for our July meeting focus area.
Yes.
All right. And Pillar 2, board members share information learned from a training, professional development opportunity, or informational resource since July 2025.
So I know we needed to review the mission statement.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm thinking that this piggybacks nicely. So for Pillar 2, we went to this reframing aging. And as Alyssa has already said, one of the new lenses they gave us is to really look carefully at the wording in what is produced by the Council on Aging. And so it was to use more inclusive language, to use the pronouns we, us, and our, rather than they, those older adults, which is exclusive. They also mentioned using language that builds momentum, positive language that builds momentums, that sees aging as a very productive time of life in which many people can contribute their wisdom, their experience, their skills. So maybe as we keep, and we also, and so maybe we keep that in mind while we parse out this mission statement and see what changes might be possible.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that a logistical piece. We don't need to approve and make changes today. I mean, It is a big mission. I mean, it is our mission, right? So if, honestly, I think when I proposed it before the meeting, I was like, oh, it's great. No changes are probably going to be made. We'll review it, stamp of approval, move forward. But I think now, after having gone to the reframe, I think there's maybe we do make changes, and so it should be taking our time.
I just want to note that the mission statement is now part of the bylaws. So we would have to do a bylaw change for any changes we make in it, you make in it. But it doesn't mean that you could not read an edited version at the meetings each week until the bylaw changes had. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, Larry, because I had that at the back of my mind.
Yeah,
too.
that ran through my mind this morning too. Then
Yeah.
I forgot to mention it, so thank you.
So. Okay, so is this where we share information from what we've done? Or, yeah. So in May, I went to the survey information meeting that we had for the community. And it was, I knew, because I'm on the board, I knew about the survey and the results. I thought it was very good to have some other people, not many, there were a lot of board members there at the meeting, but to hear about the results and what we found from the survey. I also went to the Veg Out information meeting, found out a little bit about that, and I did 2 trips. One, my very first van trip. I was the ambassador to go to the Greenbelt Walk, which was fascinating. I was planning on going anyway, but then Alyssa said, listen, we have the van and there's hardly anyone in the van. Could you go? And so the people I was going with, we all decided to take the van. We just thought we were going to walk in the Greenbelt and have a little tour. They had 2 people there. You're going to ask me where they're from. Anyway, that talked not only about the Greenbelt itself, all the different locations that we have in Massachusetts, but also about that particular location. And then they had somebody who came from, I believe she was from MIT, not MIT, don't quote me, never mind, I'm losing it. But she brought us through and taught us all about beavers and showed us beaver dams and, had books on it and showed, she had children's books, it was like just not what we expected at all. It was fascinating. I had to go the next day and show my husband everything. And look, and see here, this is where they cut, and this is what they left, and it was just really unexpectedly wonderful. And I also did the herb planting, kind of like as an ambassador, because you were there, and then Barbara and I, and then there were other people. It was just kind of, guiding people, and we did some herb planting. That was a lovely mix with people from other COAs. I think it was Salisbury COA had put it on, but yeah, it was fun. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. I did go somewhere else for lunch. Oh, well.
You and I were at the taco bar.
Oh, we went to the not taco bar, taco luncheon, yes,
It
with
was a bar.
your son.
Yes.
Yes, and I did the taco lunch, yes. That was in May. That was it.
May 5th.
But none of them, no, I haven't done any learning things yet. I have something, I have a Zoom coming up. So we're doing it from July 1st till June 3rd. That's our time, so I should start a new one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it.
I did the LGBTQ plus IA training. It was very informative. Some I knew, some I didn't, information. I'm still wrapping my head around the I. And I hopefully I'm not going to say this wrong. It's someone who's born with parts that are not necessarily related to their
Identity?
their sex, sexual parts. I think, and so that I have to dive deeper in that one. And then the asexual. I knew that one, but then there's another part to it. So I had things written down at home, but I forgot to bring them. So I did that training, I completed that, and then I did the reframing aging. And what I walked away with many things, but the one that keeps recurring to me is I look at everything now that's written or said to see if there's any ageism involved. And I found two pretty quickly. Really, really brings to mind that, as Irene said, one of them was, we talked about jury duty. And what is the age limit?
70
70. So
for the state, but not for federal, because I
Yeah.
got a federal one, and you're not excused if you're over 70.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
and that's, 70 is, that's exclusive. What do you think? People can't,
Oh, that's okay.
hey,
That's fine with me.
well, I know, that's what people say, but nonetheless.
No,
I was relieved when I.
Nonetheless, it's ageism.
absolutely. I
It
mean,
is.
again, with a peer of your of your peers, I mean there's
Right.
still plenty of people committing crimes after 70.
Yeah, we don't just go away. So I also did the reframing program, and one thing that struck me was when she talked about, when we talk about spending money as part of a budget, that education is always referred to as an investment, and money for older adults is always referred to as a cost. I would like to see that changed in people's minds to investment or reinvestment, instead of just, oh, you guys are just a cost. We don't need to do that. And I also did the LGBTQ online training and learned a few things. I went to the Pride Dessert Social last week. There was some trivia contest. I learned a great deal about that. But I've had people ask me, well, I'm not LGBTQ. Why do I need to? I don't need to consider or celebrate or, wear a flag or anything. Why do I need to do that? But it's not just Pride Month for it is, of course, for LGBTQ, a chance for those people to celebrate themselves and honor themselves and join with other fellow people like themselves. But it's also a celebration of love, of acceptance, of tolerance, of diversity. So everyone can take pride in Pride Month.
And as Alyssa said, the movie was just hilarious, but also just a kind of a real picture of you know, their lives and probably other lives. I loved it. It was interesting. I learned some things. All right. Anyone
Well,
else?
I'll throw my thing in. Laura was nice to take me to the taco bar.
We sat together.
Yes,
We were a date.
yes. My son came. He was very impressed. It was great. He was, you know, I threatened him that if he didn't come over and help me, I wouldn't feed him. So we went to that. I also went to the survey results, which was interesting. And then one of the things we went to was the coffee and the chat about the recycling. It was okay, but I don't know if anybody's really looked at it. It's very confusing. We were going,
Just to clarify, the town changes.
yes.
Yeah.
They're going from WM to Mellow.
Yep.
And so my wife and I were looking at it. It gives you a chart in there. You're either in Route A or Route B.
Yep.
The only trouble with that is it doesn't tell you when Route A starts and Route B starts. So I have no clue when we have recycling. The other thing interesting about the brochure is they tell you to go out there with dark ink and mark your trash recycle and mark your waste. Except you've got a dark thing, you put magic marker, you can't tell.
Yeah.
What do you mean tomorrow?
Well, they want you to put your name and address on the
I
container.
thought there was a code on it.
I think it should. I think they've done that on their end. There's some sort of queue. I haven't looked at the thing in a while. Sorry.
Sure.
My alarm.
No, there's like a QR code that they have, so I can't give you my trash barrel, because you don't live at my address,
Right.
supposedly. I don't know. But
I have two.
recycling and a trash.
No, I have two recycling, two trash. Only because my mother has since passed and they put the new one out there every time, so.
They're
bring
gonna
it
come
back-
for it,
I
George.
haul it back up the house, I call them, they come pick it up. The other thing is they wanted you to wait 30 days before you get a smaller unit. Except that when we were sitting in the audience, I know my wife broke her wrist on one and the other woman fractured her arm on her big one. So I'm going after to see if I can get a smaller one, so.
To wait 30 days.
Well,
August 1st.
do you have to wait 30 days? They said that was iffy, Rebecca.
Yeah.
said that was
Yeah.
iffy.
She said to come and see her
Yeah.
if there was an issue. And George, did you get the information in the mail about the streets and which days and
No,
the
we picked that up
AB?
at the meeting.
Okay. Because you should have got something in the mail, and I think
Oh,
that
I
would
did, yeah,
would
yeah.
that will
Okay.
clarify. I think what day.
Yeah,
Here's your recycling.
no,
Yeah.
Yes, it
that's
does,
the one I'm
A or
talking about.
B.
It doesn't,
Yeah,
it
when
just,
did B start?
yeah,
So everything
in
starts
the calendar.
effective July 1.
yeah, but
Right.
July 1 is what? Is it A or is it B?
I don't have the thing in
I
front of
don't
me, but if you want to call me afterwards, more than
Well, I
happy
was gonna
to.
get out
To look at it,
I
but
will.
yeah, absolutely. So people that do have questions, Elise in the Board of Health is your point person. Certainly, you know, Rebecca, as her time allows, as town administrator, can also help. But yeah,
No, but I looked at that last night, and my wife kept saying, I can't find it.
so I think
not
I
fun.
could probably help for anybody listening. If you do want to call me at the Council on Aging, I'd be happy to look that up.
They also generously offered to call Annie at Rebecca's office, and I would recommend, if you want some clarification, to have what they mailed you in front of you when you talk to Annie, so that you
Yeah.
can mark right on that mailing that you got
Here is a-
and have some clarity.
Yeah.
And if I can just add
Yeah.
something you had said before, earlier in your director's report, that this might be the time that neighbors can help neighbors.
Absolutely.
I had no idea how heavy those things are. I went to take mine in yesterday, because usually my husband does it, and I said, oh, they haven't emptied it yet. And I looked, I'm like, oh, this is empty? And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have friends who like live on a hill. I don't know how you would get that up a hill, or taking it down a hill, it's going to drag you down. It's heavy. It's, so if you have a neighbor, offer to take theirs out and back in for them. We don't use that much. I was like, and I'm also thinking, like, some people are saying this recycling isn't big enough for my family, because we recycle, and I'm like, I can't even fill that bin in 2 weeks, and I recycle. I mean, we don't use that much. Maybe, if you have a young family that, like, usually puts out 2 things of recycling a week, and they can't fit it in, take some of theirs and put it in your recycling. I mean,
It's
I don't know if
very
you can
kind of
do that.
Earl.
What?
So I like that idea.
Well, it works both ways.
Absolutely.
I have more than enough room in my trash can. I don't want everyone else's trash. No dirty diapers, please.
And I think, again, they said, understandably, there'll be situations, people with long driveways or, other, unable to wheel that cart, and to call Annie. It's pretty much as simple as that. If you have a concern and you think you might need a smaller one, then just call Annie.
Or the health department. I do have to go. Are there any questions that I could be helpful with right now before I leave?
Could I have, or I could get these from you tomorrow, a copy of the evaluation and position for Deb?
Yes. There should have been I have this is the evaluation. I don't have the description, but I can
do.
also just email it to her.
I have one.
You want me just to email it to Deb?
For the program coordinator?
No, the evaluation.
Oh, the evaluation.
The evaluation.
Oh, sorry.
Can you pass that along?
Okay.
Thank you. Okay.
And I'll take the position too. I think the rest of what we have to discuss deals with the director evaluation and what we as a board need to have ready when we assess how we've done in meeting our goals for the strategic plan.
Awesome.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. Enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Pillar 3,
Yeah, Pillar 3.
Is that an extra position paper?
the program coordinator? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Pillar 3 is progress, the welcome packet, board member binder.
Before we go to that, can we talk about Pillar 2? I think when we meet at VZ, we may be assessing how we've done with the board's strategic goals for the past year and moving on from there. So if we could make some decisions. So for Pillar 2, it was, what's the information you learned from a training, professional development opportunity, or informational resource since July 2025 to the end of June 26? So we were all keeping lists of that. We should be ready to bring, should we be ready to bring our list with us to whenever we meet at VZ? Or to the July board meeting? How do we proceed with this?
My first thought is maybe bring it to the board meeting
In July?
in July.
Okay.
And are we, excuse me, collecting these, or, so you want us to write what we learned on each one? No, just
the
what we
listing.
did, the listing.
The listing,
Right.
and there's another question. Do we need to collect these as evidence? Should we have 2 copies, one for ourselves, one that we put together? collect and put together as evidence? I don't know. What would be its purpose?
Well, remember the last time, was it in April, where we all came and we prepared to share something that we had learned, and that was a great meeting, because everybody had something that they had done, whether it was, a luncheon or a program or online program, and so if we could maybe just do that again. I think that we had it written down, what we had done, and did we take copies and hand it to everyone so
No,
that they could
no,
all?
no.
We
No.
didn't? Okay.
So
Not at
I-
that time.
Right.
No.
So I have, excuse me, I just have a listing of
Exactly. We just
COA
need a
board
listing.
pillars, 1 and
Yep.
2, FY '26, and what the things were, trainings and seminars, informational programs and resources, programs, van trips. I have one van
Because
trip.
Deb had
Yay!
done that form for us nicely.
Right.
To get us started.
Oh, yeah, I
Right.
mean, mine's just a listing, 718 barbecue,
Yes.
812 ice cream social, whatever, look for programs. And so I don't know if that's good enough.
That is, that.
Yeah,
that-
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's it.
I think the
Just
question is-
activity and the date.
So what happens now? What happens with the lists? I was thinking, gee, in August, we'll have the binders no, in July, we should have the binders prepared for each board member, because the select board is approving all board members, new or renewed, on June 22nd. And then there'll be the swearing in. So we'll have that information for July, and we can update the list with the town clerk. So these will be coming to us in July. Would it make sense to keep your hard copy of your listing of Pillar 2 events in your binder?
Oh, so why not?
Sure.
Keep it simple.
Okay.
How would that be?
Perhaps that would help us set goals for ourselves. Gee, okay, so this is what I did. Am I seeing a pattern here? Am I doing mostly social things? Am I doing mostly informational learning things on Zoom? And what am I doing? What could I focus on more? Yeah, that would probably help us. Go ahead.
And also, we need to look at the goals and were they achieved? Yes or no? And if so, do we want to keep this one as not necessarily a goal, but an ongoing activity, presentation activity, and look at a new goal? I mean, I don't see these being our goals for 2 or 3 years. I feel like, there are other things probably to accomplish, and we, and I think everybody's done a great job, with sharing, and
So ultimately, we need one copy for ourselves, perhaps kept in our binders? Should we have another copy for evidence? And then to whom does that go?
yeah.
I don't think we need to turn it in,
I don't,
as proof
Okay.
of what we've done. Just if we talk about it, at a meeting here and there, and
okay.
Yeah.
But I think we should have evidence for ourselves.
for ourselves, yeah.
Okay, great.
Sounds good.
And,
I'm going to interrupt for a minute. Going back to the things that we attended, I also attended the ambulance building. And
Oh, yeah.
it was interesting. The lady talked, and what she was saying was that the ambulance has to bring you to the closest hospital. I recently fell and had to take an ambulance. We had to argue with them not to bring me to Lawrence General, right? I wanted to go to Haverhill only because my wife could not drive to Lawrence. And it was just, well, I don't know, depends, and this, and we kept saying, no, want to go to Haverhill, just go there. And she said, no, that they were supposed to take you to Haverhill, because that was the closest one. So if anybody has an incident that they have to use an ambulance, you can demand they go to Haverhill. But I wanted to bring that out. That stuck in my mind. I said, you know, this guy just was gonna take me to Lawrence, and
So a person has a right to say, this is the hospital,
no, the ambulance is supposed to bring you to the closest facility, which in my case would be Haverhill, or Oliver.
right,
He kept saying Lawrence, right? Now, the reason they could bring you to Lawrence, if it was a severe incident and Haverhill did not have the facilities
correct,
to cover.
right.
I had a gash on my leg and was bleeding, so it wasn't like they needed something extraordinary to fix it. But
Interesting.
I do know that if they are suspecting a cardiac event, they take the person to the nearest hospital that has a cardiac team.
yeah,
They read the situation and make the appropriate decision. Yeah.
I also know that they have a trauma center there, and I think they have a small one at Anna Jake's, but that's where they head to the trauma center first.
yeah.
That's
It-
what the ambulance
where's there?
instructions are.
With the trauma center.
It's like major
No, what
Okay.
location, what hospital?
Lawrence.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So that might have been, they were
Yeah.
thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
All right.
Next up is the director evaluation. You know, it's interesting, I watched the Library Board of Trustees meeting, and they worked on theirs and changed it to focus on the job. You know,
Yep.
yeah.
I was on the
Laura would
committee
know.
for
Yeah.
that.
And that makes so much more sense to me. You know, it's, I know, you know, filling it out, you know, a lot of the things were,
We don't
you
know.
couldn't really evaluate.
Right, we
because,
don't
you know,
work
You're not in
here.
the office all day, so you know, you didn't see what they might have been asking for. So anyway, that's just my,
Yeah, and having been on that committee for the trustees of the library, that's what we did. We found that in the past couple of years, when we were doing the director evaluation, there were a lot of I don't knows put in the evaluation. Well, so why are we evaluating something that we wouldn't know unless we worked there or we were watching her the whole time? I mean, that's not what we do. We're a board. They're a trustees board. So we really tied it into the job description, her contract, which we don't do the contract for Alyssa, and we also changed the way we evaluated, I haven't even looked at this, the ratings. We went to Rebecca and found out how the town's evaluation of the people that they evaluate, how they grade or, you know, what matrix they use for, you know, exceptional, I can't even remember what the words are now that we use. Anyway, I have that if you're interested, but I don't know, this has to be done from June to July, so it might be too late to do it now, because, I mean, we worked on that for a good, I think we had like 6 meetings, and, you know, and we met with the director, and there were 3 other people on the, this little committee. So it was something, and then we, you know, the trustees looked through it, it was a thing in process. So, but that being said, we may find a lot of, I don't knows, yeah, it may be something to look at for the future. I think it's too late at this point to do it.
Definitely.
yes.
But yeah, I really don't even remember doing one of these in the past. Have we?
You've done two.
Have I?
Alyssa, yeah.
Don't remember doing it. Okay.
So I went back and looked at last year and the process. And I think every year we have discussed, should we customize it more? I think that's a lengthy process. But if that's something that we want to do, as you fill it in, maybe you should be making some notes about that, where maybe you were rating not applicable, I don't know, so that we can refashion what's on here for next year's director evaluation. Let's talk about how we fill this in first, and then timeline upon which we can agree for the steps. So the date of this evaluation would be July 2025 through June 2026. Oh, what? Yes, June 2026. Okay. When we did this last year, we asked people to, oh, where's the one with everything? Some people questioned, oh, how should I fill this in? Should it be a number by every single bullet or a number for the whole section? It's one number for the whole section. 5 would be the highest. In A, if it's not applicable, but also realize that, oh, this wasn't the best example. Let me pull out
We had a
another
lot of
one.
them that did bullet by bullet, too.
And not this year, not last year. Everybody did one number last year. It was the year before that it got so complex. So some people also would do a number with a decimal point from last year. So maybe a 5, maybe a 4, maybe whole numbers, or maybe a 4.5, a 4.2, a 3.7, whatever, okay? Okay, and then, of course, there's the section for comments. Alyssa asked us last year, I remember specifically, she said, an evaluation is done for a person in a position to make improvements. So the more specific the comments can be to help Alyssa learn or grow in her position and her work, she would appreciate that.
I have mine from last year, but I don't remember what the date was that we set for, to get it, so that.
We
could
said
it
by
be
the end
compiled?
of the month,
End of which month?
the month in which you receive it, so it's June. So if you could have this completed by the end of June, then it would give the Personnel Committee a chance to meet and consolidate all the numbers onto one form. And then I will, as I did last year, I will type up all of the comments anonymously. I just type up the comments for Alyssa section by section so she can learn from them. And then our goal was to present this with, and then the chair meets with Alyssa and signs something official that I saw for the first time last year. They meet together, and then Alyssa makes her SMART goals for the next year, which would probably be presented to us, I'm predicting, at the August meeting.
So we do not fill out page 12 and 13.
Correct.
That's for Alyssa.
That's for Alyssa.
Right,
Thank you for mentioning that.
yes.
Yes,
That's,
that's Alyssa's
SMART goals.
SMART goal area. Yep.
question for you. I really don't remember doing this. I think I'm losing it, but,
You did
I did.
do it. Yes, you
I've
did.
probably done it many times, and I don't. Oh, boy, that's sad. Do you have a copy of her SMART goals and her goals that she did last year? Because we should be looking at that, too. I don't know if it's questioned here.
I think I have it. I don't have it with me today, but
No,
I'm
you
pretty
know what
sure
I
have
mean?
it.
Could you
I'm not
email it
sure
onto-
if that's,
I have a hard copy of it. I might have it also electronically, but I have a hard copy. I know I have it at home, because I have different folders for things, and I have an evaluation folder at home that I didn't bring today.
We could, in fact, though, ask Alyssa to just send that on to us, because she would have it on her computer and could just send us her SMART goals from last year. I do remember seeing them, but didn't I have them in here?
Let's see if I
so by end of June, you want this information. So I'll have to do it by next Friday. Okay.
And then, some people last year just dropped it off to me or put it in an envelope and sealed the envelope and left it in the office
the office.
for me to pick up, or Linda to pick up. Okay, so this is for Deb.
So do you want me to ask Alyssa to please send us her SMART goals from last year?
I'm wondering if that would be the easiest thing. I'm still looking to see, no, those are the slides from the presentation. I don't think I have Alyssa's SMART goals from last year with me. I think the easiest thing would be if she sent them to us.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it's something that's in this evaluation, but I think reading that and being mindful of what she set as goals.
Absolutely, right.
Yes.
I mean, that's
Indeed.
part of, the evaluation.
Right. Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll get our evaluation in by June 30th. Either leave it at the office or drop it off at Irene's.
Yep, just email me and let me make sure I respond first, just in case we're gone or something. Not planning on it, but one never knows.
All right,
Let me know if you're going to put it in the mailbox or whatever.
all right.
And I have one more favor to ask of everybody. So when I meet with the town clerk, Jen Peterson, after people have been sworn in order to help her update the information page for all of us so that we can communicate with each other easily, either through email or phone numbers, please, is there anybody here who has a phone number that they do not want on this list?
And to clarify, the only ones who see that list are the board members.
Or us,
that
yes,
have
it's
that.
only
It's
in-
not
Yours?
public or.
Exactly. George,
Yes.
I need to check with you to make sure that I have your accurate address and the phone number at which you would want us to reach you.
Yeah.
Notice there's no phone number there.
Right. 978?
Oh,
Can you,
don't. Oh, here, can you just let George see that and confirm that that's the accurate phone number? Laurel?
Yep.
Thank you. Other side, other side.
Where are you? That's it.
That's correct.
Yay.
All right, I want to.
Okay, mission accomplished, that's part's done.
And we'll have, yeah, and she'll change all the
Right,
new dates. Thank you, George.
All right. Okay, are we good?
all right.
Yes?
Think so?
Okay. All right, okay. Okay, so, like to entertain a motion to close the meeting. Thank you, Barbara.
Second.
Thank you. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi,
Okay, our next scheduled meeting is on June 12th. No, that's not right.
July.
Sorry. When
July
is it?
12th.
July
July
15th.
15th?
Okay, okay. All right, thank you.
Oh, thanks, everybody, I know there's a lot. And I apologize, I completely forgot to post the VZ workshop meeting. Just never even really settled in my brain. It actually worked out great for me.
Because I'm thinking it's not gonna be a little hour meeting. It's
No.
gonna be like the whole, and I'm like, what was I thinking?
It will be
No, I
intense.
have things to do later in the afternoon and, you know,